Hello everybody, welcome back to another live stream on the hottest day of the year in the UK. We're back in Wales, in the game, not in real life. Hello to Scan720 and nobody else. I'd slightly messed up the OBS just now, so I had to restart the stream. I apologise for that. But we're back. We're going to continue with this scene today that we started on Monday. So we're going to continue this, make it look a bit better, because at the moment it's not particularly fantastic, to say the least. But yes, so I need to make sure Google Maps has been set up properly. Good. Right, so we are making this, for those who did not see the last stream, we're making not that, we're going around a bit further. This view here is what we're focusing on at the moment. There were some small issues with the last stream I did on Monday, which means I've had to private that stream. We won't necessarily go into what those were, but hopefully that shouldn't be the case today. I have reconfigured Google Maps to be a bit better. So we have this basic landscape now. We need to do the hills on this side still, but I think we're going to start by filling in some of the detail in here. So we've got the fields, some patches of trees, different colour, grasses around. So I think we're going to start with that. I'm not sure if I'm particularly keen on this texture here, but whatever, that's also all got grass on it, so we should probably start by turning that off. So let's do that. I'm not sure about this so far. It might end up looking quite good, but at the moment it's not fantastic. We'll have to see. I sort of feel maybe we should make some of this a bit darker. Might be a good start. Let's change that just around the top more than anything, although that probably won't make a huge difference. It might make it blend in more with the stuff behind it, I guess. Let's do that. Just on this top row, just to give it a little bit more variety. Although that whole bit is the top row, so whatever. Let's see if that makes it. That makes it. There you go. That makes it blend in with the hills behind it quite a lot more. So that's better. And now I think we just need to create some more variation here. Fill in the trees. So we've just got patches of trees around here, really. So let's start by replicating those. I'm thinking I'm going to have some up here. So I think we're going to go for trees dense tall 2, I believe is the one. I could use these ones, which look quite good at a far distance, but I don't think... oh, maybe actually, they might work. Well, they don't work particularly well on hills, so I think I'm going to go for this one and make them quite dense. Let's go for 150. And also make them smaller so they look like they're further away. That should do. Let's make sure they're low poly. And then I'm going to get rid of these bits. I might leave... okay, let's brought it all back. Might leave those and see what that looks like. That just sort of hide the river, which might not be great, but it might be okay. We can't really see the river a whole lot here, which isn't fantastic. I might change it slightly just so you can get a little bit more of a glimpse. There you go, that will do. That looks a bit better. Hello to Thomas. Welcome. Where else should we have some trees? Let's have some over here. We'll do the same again. Go 150 and we'll go smaller with them. Make them low poly. And where should we have the trees here? Let's have like that maybe, or like that. Let's go for that. There we go. So that's already looking quite a bit better. Looking back at Google Maps, I might want some more variation in these hills. So, what other grass types do we have that are far and about? Not a whole lot. We've got mud. That's not going to look any good, is it? No. No, it's not. Let's not do that then. Okie dokie. If we have a look back up here. So all the trees seem to be sort of centered around the flat area. So as long as we keep that the case, I might bring those back one more actually. No, that's the wrong brush. No vegetation. Like that. There we go. And I sort of want some very small ones over here, but the problem is the vegetation I'm using there is already as small as it can go. So let's go for tree wall dense, and let's see if we can make them look like they're even further away than they actually are by doing that. Okay, that's just going to disappear, that's not very helpful. We want this one. Let's see if that makes any difference. You can't really see it, it's in the complete wrong place to where I wanted it to be. I sort of wanted it to be more over here. Let's try that. That works quite well, I think. I think that looks quite good. So, if we have a few more trees... We'll have a few more up here, obviously. However, I'm going to fill the hills in there first. Let's just work on making this bit look a bit better. So, we're probably going to go... Shrub 9. Where is it? There it is. Far LOD, obviously. For far LOD. Now they're basically invisible from here. That's a bit weird. There we go. They're all going to disappear immediately. So let's fix this. There we go. How am I? I am fine. I'm very warm. It's the hottest day in the year. It's 30 degrees. And I am slightly dying. Should probably be outside, but whatever. Why be outside when you could be map editing? Let's go over there. So I want to create the effect of some fields here. Obviously, they're not going to be particularly detailed fields, they're just going to be some hedges. Might do better if I bring these closer to the water's edge. Just because that's the sort of thing that I imagine fields doing. There we go. Hello to Jonas, John 4S. Hello to you. I do not know how to pronounce your name properly. But hello, welcome. If we put the hedges there, is that gonna? Yes, it is gonna hide the river, which is not ideal. Let's bring that over there. There you go, that's a bit better. That's a bit better, and then if we have the same sort of thing with some going across, that's going to go into the ground. Might be a bit big actually, comparing them to the size of the trees. That should be okay. How's that looking? It's not looking quite as green. I might make some of these areas a bit more greener, because it's quite green. So let's apply a light green colour brush over it. That's very green, blimey. Maybe not quite as green as that. That might do. Just as a little bit more variety, we can have some different shades in here. Let's do that. There we go. Doesn't make a huge amount of difference, but that's fine. Do you know when the update of ProMods should come out? Nathan's given you the perfect answer there. It's ready when it's ready. We have no clue, basically, when it's going to. We are making some progress, but we don't know when it's going to be fully ready for release. So it could be in a week, it could be less than a week, it could be a month. It just depends what things come up. We've had a few weird issues with it, but they're starting to sort themselves out now. Right, let's put some more hedges in. Is that the right one? Yes it is. Let's just do that. Maybe not that. Maybe we can bring it up to there, I guess. Let's also not do that. That's not very good. There we go. So that's looking a bit better now. It's still not brilliant. I think it's because on Google these are a lot more bumpy. Although, in all fairness, it's not too different to what we've got. I think maybe that hill's a little bit flat. Although I don't know what I would do. I guess I could rotate it more around that way, but that's going to bring that up and look terrible. Actually, we can just do, not that one, that one. We can just make the height a bit higher and it'll make it, there we go, make it a bit lower. Bring it over that way a bit more perhaps. There we go. So that's not looking too bad now actually. I think that's decent as far as far views go. Do you know if anyone in the ProMods team are working on expanding Norway? At the moment, there's sort of work going on, I guess. I don't know how much I should say though, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, as Nathan said, we've recently updated the background map. You know, when you open the world map, there's like the borders of the countries drawn in. We've got a new one of those that's more updated, but it does mean and it fits the projection a bit better. But it does mean that some of the roads, especially in the very north and the very south of the map, have been are now in the wrong places. So we've been spending quite a bit of time in the background just tweaking loads and loads of roads. That's taken quite a bit of time, so that's why there's not a huge amount of development in Norway at the moment. But yeah, that's why. Right, let's do some of these hills. We'll go back to Google. Now, these ones need to be a bit more detailed because they're closer up. But we also have the issue of they can't go very far before they start obstructing this road. So we need to figure out some way of doing that. I'm thinking for stuff like this, because I want to get the bumpiness of it in. So I might go terrain with that. What was scale before and what's it going to be? It's still the same scale, but it's just the background map. Just means that some places are too far north, some places are too far south. So bits are being added in. I think in Norway there's technically now more roads than there used to be, just because the new background map means places like Hammerfest and the other one are higher up than they used to be. There we go. Right, let's try making these with terrain and see how that ends up. It might end up looking terrible, but you never know. Let's go for 100 and 130. And let's not go for those. That might work. If we do that, maybe not. That could work. It would probably need to be... although the steeper you go, the worse it gets, so maybe not. Let's see. That could work. Maybe 1.5, 1.4. That could work. Let's try that and see how that ends up being. Hello Plum. Welcome back. Right, so we're definitely going to have to invent some clever methods here to get around this road. Let's turn... oh, I'm doing this in the wrong monitor. There we go, let's bring the normal monitor back. Right, how high are these mountains? Let's go up to here, a bit higher, let's go up to there, because they are higher than the road. So let's go up to there with them, and that's actually going to go quite far that way. Okay, there we go. So, this might end up looking terrible, it might end up looking quite good, but it's going to take quite a lot of fiddling around, I feel. So let's start by just adding a load of nodes in. Now obviously that looks like utter garbage at the moment, but hopefully... so the problem with this is it is very weirdly irregular. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that's way too steep, so let's make it less so. Let's go for 1 instead. That's probably a bit better. There we go, that's much better. That's getting sort of the nice curve. Okay, so a steepness of 1 is a lot nicer. Hello to Todd. Hello to Noah. I'm definitely gonna have to brush these mountains a bit. Right. Yeah, let's start bringing them down a bit. They sort of come outwards, so if we do that, that could look quite nice. There we go. That's looking better. That's looking better than it was before. So let's bring this out again, and that way we hide. Obviously having it all disappear is not great. Where's the... there it is. Let's try that. There's a bit of a gap there, but we'll ignore that for now. Maybe a bit more variety here might be quite good, although that's created a bit of a horrible... a bit of a horrible bump. Let's do something like this, and then try and hide that. That's not being hidden very well, is it? There we go. No, okay, let's do that. That's good enough. There we go. That's looking, in terms of shape, that's looking quite good for the more detailed mountains. Okie dokie. Right. So, if we have a look at these, they're quite brown actually. They're quite rocky, quite brown. The problem is this sort of texturing doesn't really exist in Eurotruck. We can hide the edge of the mountains with trees, which is quite good. But let's focus on these bits first. So they do have some trees, so let's put those on first of all. Let's go for up to about there, and we're going to go for trees again. Let's bring that over there. I'm going to go for trees dense tool 2. We're going to not go from 0, we're going to go from about, it's 130, let's go from 50 to 130. And see what that's like. And obviously they're huge because we're trying to create a perspective effect, I guess is one way of saying it. We're trying to make it look like it's further away than it actually is. 50 is too tall, 70, 80, let's go 80. And let's actually go a bit further than 130, let's go for 200 just to fill them all in. There we go. Right, and now we want to switch from colour to no vegetation. Now the problem with this is, first of all, I'm going to turn the step size up a little bit, and then we're going to remove some trees here, maybe some down there. There we go. Now we've got a slight bit of weird terrain there. That's because this side's not finished. However, I think it's probably going to go down. Maybe not. We'll work out something for that. Actually, maybe if it goes down and then behind it we have another bit of terrain, that might be better. Because that is a forest. So I'm thinking having some more terrain behind that's going to be quite good. Then actually on this side the trees then just sort of take up a lot more. So if we go back to the 50 to 200 trees, make them small, 150, not 1500. There we go, and now we want to make this all look a little bit better than it does. So I'm thinking I'm going to use, is it rock? No. It might be actually, except I don't think it is. Maybe it might be stone. There we go. Grass stones main SC is what I'm thinking for sort of here. That's not painting it because it's on no vegetation. Now this might look quite weird. Although maybe it might look quite good. Okay, I should have probably just turned the terrain of the actual hills into this texture, but we're going to do it like that. Now that's awful. That's very bad. So if we go back to this texture, will it look too light? That's the question. Probably, looking at that, that's probably going to be way too light. Now the problem with terrain is you've got a lot more things to paint. Let's bring it down some more. Not there, let's bring that bit down. And just create a bit more variety in the paint on the brushes. Now that's not fantastic. So I'm starting to think that we should actually, if I remove all brushes, that's going to remove the trees as well, isn't it? Oh well. We're going to restart on that. We're going to get rid of the vegetation again. It was sort of there and there, I believe. Although we do now have some vegetation in the river, which is interesting, to say the least. Let's try and get rid of it. No, are we going to be able to? There we go. Okay. Hello to someone whose name I'm not going to even try pronouncing. Welcome. If I did try and pronounce your name, it would guaranteed be wrong. Just completely incorrect. I'm actually using the wrong trees here, is what I've just noticed. Does that have any trees on it? No. Okay. So we want these, right. We don't want these sort of trees, we want spruce trees. They might be quite big actually, but I think, yeah, they're already as small as they can go, which is sort of a shame. Let's bring the density up a bit. There we go. So, how are we going to do the texturing? That's the question. What do we have in terms of just looking at it by grass? I might go for, because we want a sort of browny coloured at the top. That might work quite well actually. Have a look at that. Compare it to that. That might work. Even though it's quite a, it's not a texture I would usually use, and it does tile quite a lot. So let's go for some rocks. Is that what they are? No. That's these ones. Okay. So it's sort of annoying that the thing's not actually where my mouse is. That's not too bad actually. Okie dokie. Right. Let's start by just painting some stones on and seeing what that looks like. And then we'll move on to something else. Now that's that's not great. It's not great, is it? So we want, right, okay, let's ignore all that, ignore all of the things. We want to paint this with a different colour grass first. Let's do that first. So let's undo all of this slowly over a period of quite a few undos. There we go. Right, let's go back to grass green belt. We don't need the content browser for that because we can do it from here. Grass green. No, it's just grass green belt. There we go. So let's start. Let's turn this up. Is that the right way? No, it's not. So let's start by doing this, so that we've got a transition between the yellowy grass and normal grass. That's probably quite a good point. So if we now go back to this and go for Stones SC, we might be able to create a slightly better effect with it, or it's just going to look terrible no matter what we do. Edge is here. Hello, Edge. It's not great. It's definitely not great. Right, we're going to ignore the stones. Oh, it's going to take a while to get rid of them though. We're going to ignore the stones, we're going to go back to, because I think this is now going to work better with the yellowy texture. Is what I think, or is what I'm hoping. So we're going to go back to this. I'm going to briefly hide this because it keeps on getting in the way. There we go. I'll probably forget I've done that now though. So if we do a mixture of the yellow and that, we'll hopefully take away the tiling, and if we combine it with some variety in how high the grass goes, like so. Let's undo that bit of grass. That needs to be changed. I'll change that in a minute. So let's go back to this. Right, that's probably the best we've had so far in terms of, it doesn't quite represent the real world particularly well, but it does look best in Eurotruck. If we try and do some grey browny colouring, actually let's just do just brown in general. You always have to do like quite light colours when you're editing the colour brushes because they're very overpowering. But I do want to go a bit darker with it. So maybe there. That's quite dark. If that was slightly greener, might need to just go yellow with it rather than brown. Brown might be a bit over the top. Although that might also be a bit too yellow. It doesn't look too bad actually, in all fairness. Any updates on Ireland? At the moment, no. I might get back to Ireland once I finish this bit of Wales. Or I might do something else, I'm not too sure. The problem with Ireland is I'm not particularly motivated to do Ireland, as opposed to Wales, which I am quite motivated. There we go, that's acceptable. However, these, I still think these are a bit rockier than the terrain is managing. Maybe we can just fix that a slightly easy way by turning the tessellation up. No, that's made basically no difference. Okay, let's not do that then. Let's try... We could try using this model, I guess. Again, we need to factor in the fact that there's a road here, which is going to complicate things somewhat. So, 0.1. Now, for stuff like this, you can normally get away with doing something like that, and it looking okay. Let's turn this one to 0.5, this one to 0.3, and see what that looks like. I do sort of want it to be quite close to the hill. Don't I have another project to finish first? I might do, but that project may or may not be still unrevealed. I don't think we've mentioned the other project yet. Although, of course, now I've revealed that there might be another project. You never know. Ah, that looks a bit better. So I'm not sure if I like that or not. I think I do. I think I do. So let's move that around, not like that though. How's that? Now, I don't want it to repeat too much either actually, so if we flip that one, there we go, that fits better. Right, that's looking better, that's looking better than it was. What I'm going to do, I think, is put a little bit of detail on that side, because it looks like, yeah, they look like stone walls in my mind. Quite ruined stone walls, but let's see what it looks like if we put some walls in like that. Now that's a bit high, considering everything else is quite far away. That could work, it could definitely work. If we do something like that, maybe one a bit higher, sort of up here, like so. Let's try that. Bring it down a bit. There we go, that sort of also creates a little bit of the illusion of it's a bit uppy-downy. Oops, we want to, wait, we don't want to do that. We want to do that and then lower it slightly. Let's bring this one back a bit. Okay. So it's not too bad. It's not the greatest thing I've ever made, but it's not too bad. Let's bring this back. So there is a light. There are more rocks. There are definitely more rocks. Don't know. I don't think. No, I'm thinking of American truck when I thought that there were rocks. As terrain. As terrain vegetation even. I think I'm thinking of American truck. So we just need to do that, but along those bits now. And then we should be done. I'm still thinking that maybe it could be a little better. I think that colour could be better. I sort of want a more browny, darker colour. That could work. That could work better. There you go, that matches that colour a bit better as well. I think that will do. So let's do the same, but for these. So these already have, that's 4 meters. No, they don't. Right, let's turn the step size of these up. Not sure. I don't think we're going to need to paint these because they're facing the wrong way, really. Let's turn those up to 12. Yeah, because that road goes over that way. That might become a small problem. We're going to have to bring that in and around. Then we'll probably have the hill going up. Yeah, that should work. That should work. Let's actually, while we're here, let's make these actually render in. Let's just set them all to 12 as well. View distance. Let's set them all to render in at a decent distance. Can you add Wicklow if you update Ireland? Which one's Wicklow? I recognise Wicklow. I think Wicklow is Wicklow up the east coast. If it is, I don't think it's going to be added because I think we're going to expand Ireland more than like the southwest of Ireland, more than go back on what we've already done. Okay. We don't have a particularly good model for slate walls. I'm sort of annoyed because SES changed one of the better textured ones. These used to be quite dark and they kind of worked, but SES has made them like they used to be that texture basically, and they worked quite well. But unfortunately, that one's not too that's not too bad. But yeah, there's also this one, which sort of works, but isn't great. They're not too bad. Yeah, right. Let's get on with finishing these hills, and then we can move on to something else now, which is this. That's not that. I think I actually changed what that looked like. Yeah, I did. It's grass, semi-dry, main, no grass. Grass, semi-dry, main is that one. I think. Yes, it is. Okay. Right, let's do some of this. We want to keep a bit of variety up, and as we get further away, I'm going to bring the this yellower texture further up, so it looks like it gets further away than it actually is doing. I'd say that works quite decently. Let's colour all these in then. There we go. It's sort of annoying using terrain because you get these really close together polygons at the top. It's just something a little bit annoying to paint, but that's fine. Okay. There we go. We could bring it back by darkening the colour. I could. Yeah, that's possible. It's not a huge priority though, because we do still have... I've started using that stone wall more now. It still works somewhat decently, although it's not great. Right, so looking at Google Maps, this sort of section is basically all trees, apart from the very top. So 20 to 200. We're doing spruce, not pine. We're doing 130, I think. And we're doing the scale down. I need to make sure that they're actually low poly. They are. Okay, good. Maybe a bit less here actually, looking at Google Maps. Maybe down to about... Let's do 180, 170, 150, 140, 130, 120. No, it's 1,200. 120. That's sort of what we want. Yep, there we go. That's nice. Now these sections, actually, looking at it, these are a lot lower. I don't think we have. Do we have really small ones? I'm not sure we do. That's quite small. If we could have just all of those, that would be quite good. Oh, we do. Haha. That's quite helpful then. Right. So we got spruce tiny and spruce young. Let's go for spruce tiny and make them a bit bigger. They are very light in comparison to the other ones. So let's mix them in with some normal ones. Spruce mix short. 20 to 120. No, right. Like that. If we mix them in with some taller ones, like that. There we go, because if you look on Google Maps, they're a lot shorter than these ones. It also sort of looks like there's a track going through there. Hey, let's move it around. Right. Okie dokie. Right, let's... So this is clearly sort of a field, so I think I'm going to bring this wall up to about there, and then have another one coming down. If we can have it... Walls aren't straight in Wales, they're very bendy and weird. Ah, I didn't bring that down. I keep on forgetting that I need to make those shorter. There we go, and the same for these. Let's make them a little bit shorter, and then they look like they're further away. Let's actually bring this bit further out. There we go. Okay, so that's looking... I'm getting less and less sure on this very top bit now. I might go back and replace that with some more of this, now that I go back and look at it. But first, let's go through with some more of this and put some variety into this yellow bit. And also, this is darker in real life. I guess we could paint those bits darker as well. It's not going to make a huge difference though. But that looks quite good. How do you just select that node so fast? Yeah, that's just by holding down the full stop key. You select, or if you just press it a lot, you can hold it down and it'll do it relatively quickly. It's the full stop key basically. Right, let's have some trees on this side as well, although they're not going to be super... Let's go for 70, super high up the hill. That'll do. Like so, we want 150, not 1,500. Maybe not 150, let's go for 130, 120, 120. we go. So some trees over there, and we're starting to get something that looks quite good actually. We can put some spruces on here as well, just for a little bit more variety. But it's starting to look quite good. Let's not bother painting that actually. So if we go over here, can we see that that ends? Sort of. Let's continue bringing this around, but using this texture so it matches with this. Well, hey, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. There are a lot of key commands in the editor here, and it doesn't tell you many of them. It tells you quite a few in all fairness. In the help screen, brief documentation. Shows you a few. I don't think it mentions the full stop thing. No, it doesn't. Control and H is apparently sculptor. Oh, oh, I've not tried this before. There you go. See, I'm just saying that the editor allows you, has so many hidden things, and I find one. Let's give this a go. I've not actually ever tried this before. That's the wrong key. No, it's not. So I think this works more like a brush. But for bringing parts of it there, look at that. That is lovely. Yeah, see, before I was just using V. I was just doing it all one by one, like that. That is, I had heard of that existing actually, and just completely forgot about it. But that is very nice. I'm going to use that a lot. Can we get it? There we go. That's very nice. Very nice indeed. So that's more like other games where they've got just a mesh world. That's sort of how you do terrain and that sort. Okay, let's go and make this look a bit better now that we know that that exists. That's great. That's very nice. Okay, let's... yes, okay. I've lost the colour now, that's annoying. Oh well. Let's experiment a bit with that on these hills. Turn the radius down a bit, because I was saying that I wanted them to be a bit more jaggedy, and now we can do such thing with ease. Maybe slightly, yeah, there we go. There we go. Where's it gone? It doesn't really like the free cam mode by the looks of things, it only really likes it from the top down view. There we go. Yeah, it definitely doesn't like free cam. Let's put some in here. Okay, well there we go. The more you know. The more you know. Cool, and now I just need to re-F6 all of these. And now that's more jaggedy, which is what I wanted. That might be a little too jaggedy there though now. There we go. There we go, and I think we can now do with getting rid of these, because I'm not a huge fan, although that does sort of show that they are possibly a little bit too extreme now. Let's just go back into the normal one quickly, and make this a little bit less extreme, in places like that, and possibly there. Yeah, there. It's that one, that's the one we want. There we go. And that's also way too jaggedy. Way too jaggedy. He says as he makes it more jaggedy. There we go. That'll do. There we do. Right. What's the button of the vertex height tool? The one where you do it individually is V. The one that I just discovered is Control H. Is there anything else on here? No, I think everything else is pretty the same, yeah. Although I wasn't aware that you could switch between the item types. That's quite fun. Right, there we go. Those trees look ridiculous. Why are they so tall? 25, 20, 20, let's bring them down to 30. They still look a little bit ridiculous, don't they? 35, 36, there we go, just get rid of that one. There we go. Let's reselect, not that one, we'll reselect that and reselect that. And F6, and then lower slightly. There we go. So, that's quite good. It is quite sharp, but then if we look back at Google Maps, you do have these very sharp, sort of bumpy sections. So I'm okay with that. I think that looks better than it did do before, at least. Was a category thing in the content browser also new? Category thing in the content browser. Categories? I don't think so. No. I don't think it was. It might have been. I know there was some sort of collections before. It's not something I've ever needed to use though, so you can see, yeah. Right, let's put some spruces on here actually. Rather than using actual spruces, I might go back to the tree wall ones. Just because I can control the height of those a bit better. These ones. Gonna do, I think, there. Like that. Although having them disappear isn't great. There we go. How's that? Yeah, there we go. Let's bring it up a bit higher though. Let's bring that down and that over there. To do that. That looks like trees to me, so we'll do the same over here. Actually, they might be at a decent height already. They are. Nice, okay, and maybe one over here. Just on that edge. Maybe a bit higher, just so you can see it from the road. There we go, okay, we are getting somewhere. We're definitely getting somewhere. I want to make these a bit darker, just because I think that looks a bit too light. It's sort of annoying how the content browser opens every time I do that. A bit darker still. Yeah, let's do 3 by 3. Might be better. Although that's creating quite a lot of weird edges there. See, this is the problem with terrain. This is why I much prefer using Bezier patches for stuff like that, but then again you get a lot more customization with terrain. Okay, there we go. We're definitely getting somewhere. The scene is definitely improving. Maybe some more spruces in there will look quite good. Yep, that looks good. Maybe a bit shorter though, just so we get a little bit more variety. Yep, there we go. Okay, that is looking pretty decent, in my opinion. I do want to bring this down a little bit more. Should have probably done it with the colour brush enabled, and now the colour's gone, which is excellent. There we go. Okay. That looks better now, it's got a little bit more of the brown on it. So, I think we need some mountains behind there. I did just get rid of them. I think up to here it's fine, but past this point it starts to look a bit worse. So I'm going to put some mountains behind there, I think. But there we go. Okay. Goodbye theme. I cannot pronounce many names, so I apologise, but goodbye. Let's see. See, that's just way too tall. Maybe something like that might work if we let it follow the terrain levels. Yeah. And then if we create some more distance ones using that, more distance hills over there maybe, and one back there. There we go. That might be a little tall, that last one. No, it doesn't look too terrible actually, although I'm not a fan of that huge dip. There we go. Oh, that looks better. Nice. What about fixing the one terrain gap at the road? Well, there's more than one terrain gap. Which one do you mean? That one? That one? That one? There's a few. So yeah, there we go. I think the distance, we should do some more up here, but as far as distances go, that needs a little bit of improvement as well. I'm not a fan of the single textureness of that. As far as view distances go, I'd say that looks a lot better than how it started today. So let's do this close up. We can fill in that gap as well while we're here. Let's do that close up. Right. So let's start by closing that gap actually. I'm still not sure what the elevations are going to look like for this bit of road, because I wanted to reconnect. I think it was over there somewhere. Let's have a look. Okay, just reconnects just in general. So that's probably going to reconnect there. I need to do a lot more to this road to make it anywhere near drivable. So that's going to connect probably around here. So if we actually bring that up now, because we also need to deal with the mountain that's on this side, just there, because that's going to be quite a sharp hill, I have a feeling. So let's start by working out how this is going to work. I'm thinking that should do quite nicely. That's a bit flat. Let's maybe just make it slowly go up over time. There we go. So it's a bit of a pointless road, admittedly. It's got a bit more purpose in real life. That'll do. And we'll fix that when we come to detailing that. But for now, am I going to use terrain here, or am I not? Let's not. Let's use these. So, connect that edge to there, connect that edge to there. I think that should meet up quite nicely. No, it shouldn't, because that's miles down. There we go. And that's obviously floating, because why wouldn't it be? There we go. So, we're going to connect that up. We're actually going to bring it more out that way, I think, just so that it makes that section easier to fill. Although, no, that doesn't make sense. We're going to connect that to there. Bring that quite close to the river. That's actually not a huge hill. I thought that would be a much bigger hill, but it's not. It's pretty flat, which is not really what I was expecting. That follows quite a nice contour. That'll do, that's fine. Right, so fill in this. Is that connected? I doubt it. No, it's not. How do I want to do this? I guess like that works quite well. And bringing this up a bit higher is also going to work in our favour. So, fill in this, and then we've got the road connected to the landscape. It's going to be help fill it all in. And then we can work on detailing this section. Okie dokie, there we go. How's that? Now that's quite a big hill. Let's bring it down to about that level. There we go, right, that's filled in, so now we can detail it. So let's look at Google. It looks like, there's the river, you can't really see, is that the river? That's the river there. There is clearly a river there though. But yeah, it's just fields really, some small patches of trees, but it is mainly fields. So, where is the shrubs? There they are. Right. Let's go, should we go non-farmwood? That'll do, sure, why not? Let's create a border around these trees, first of all, because I imagine that's what they have. Because these are obviously maintained forested areas. They're not just wild. Maybe they've been planted there or they've been cut back to make space for the fields. Make sure that's all on the ground, which it is. Do I want to lower that down? Let's lower it down a little bit. Not a huge amount. Let's also bring it back to there. Oh, those are not what I wanted to do. And let's do the same here, like so. Okie dokie. Right, I might connect that up with that wall actually while I'm here, just because that makes more sense. There we go. So we have a field here. We have a few fields and that, well, quite a lot of fields on that side actually. There's a gap there, although I probably won't fill it in just because you cannot see it at all from the road. So I'm going to bring that out some more. And I'm just going to make it follow the river. And I'll probably put some trees alongside the river as well. shouldn't be any need to F6 it actually. F6ing is what I didn't want to do, because obviously I sunk this into the ground earlier. So we want to keep it sunk into the ground. Yeah, the whole following the river thing doesn't look amazing there. Probably, if anything, it's because these are too high. I feel like they should be lower to make it look like they're further away. There we go. And we'll put some trees in there, just to create some variety. I think dense is what we want. Where are we? We are here, okay. Let's bring them into the ground a bit so it looks like they're further away. Bring them quite close to the edge. Not what I wanted to do. That was, there we go, bring it down. That should make it look a bit better. I sort of feel like I want all of this to be dense trees. Not sure why, but there we go. Nice. So we can see the river, which is quite good. The river is quite blue. Maybe what I want to do, because this is a no reflect river, I believe. That's the wrong one. This one, is it no reflect? It is no reflect, okay. It's possibly a little blue for my liking, and that's probably because it doesn't have any reflections on it. So, bank. I don't think bank is what I want. No, it's not. Well, I could. Let's see what this looks like. I think maybe it's better to just go for sand. These dark ones. Sort of like that. Although you can't really see it. So maybe not that one, maybe the other one. That one, or is it black? I can't remember which one I used. I think it was darker than that. Like that, possibly. It's quite a bit decent. That doesn't look any good. Okay. What might be better then is maybe we could try. I used this technique on the A684 near Hawes. We want field. Field brown, no, field, ploughed. But not that one. Definitely not that one. Field ploughed 90, why not? See, I'm not sure. It's creates a little bit of variety. I think it's just that maybe that bit of the river's a bit too wide. So let's bring it down. Okey-dokey. See, I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that section of river. It's just that section of river that I don't really like. Field, ploughed. That's a bit better. I think maybe I will go for this. Maybe not that one, maybe the other one. That one. Just as it creates a nice edge that's not really harsh. Creates a smoother edge. Although it will take a little while. Where is it? There it is. Although that doesn't, no, does it look? I think it might look a bit better. I'm not a huge fan of this dark line, but that's just part of the model. Let's just see if I do like it or not. That's the wrong one. Where's it end? Out there. Let's just quickly fill that in. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. There we go. Okay. Not fantastic, but not terrible. Is my verdict on that. I think it looks better than when it was just that. I think. Possibly. It will also get hidden slightly by the bushes that I'm going to put along here in a minute. So that will probably help to make it look a bit better. So let's do that now. 30 to 40 FPS on empty terrain. Yes. And that's because I am running the graphics way too high, and I'm streaming. So that's why. The graphics, I need to turn the graphics down a little bit. Although it's not really, because all of the TC and DC is all fine. So it's not a case of it's really under-optimised, it's just that my computer's not very good. Okay, so I believe it's a GTX 460 AMD something, I don't know. I'm not massively into the whole computery business. It's not a fantastic graphics card to say the least, but it's not terrible. Yeah, right, cool. So once this is all filled in, that's going to look pretty finished. I will go through and do the rest of this river in a little bit, but for now I just want to get the field sorted. So let's do that. That's only need to go to there. Going to need to go to there even. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Where do we want some trees in here? Let's go back to Google Maps. So we've got sort of a stripe of trees along there. We've got a weird thing here, and actually the river is in quite marshy land. Which is maybe, if we brought the hedges all back, this might make it look a bit better actually. If we brought these hedges back a bit, not a huge amount, just a little bit, up to like there, and then painted these sections, if I select them first, in, let's go to grass green main SC. Grass green main SC. Let's see, what am I on? 1x3, let's go back to 1x1. If we paint this like this, come on, let me paint that bit. Let me paint that bit. Okay, the game's decided it doesn't want to let me paint that section, so we won't. I will get rid of that hard edge in a minute as well. There we go. So let's see what that looks like now. That might, hopefully, that different shade might make it look, yeah, there we go. That's just a nice little detail, I think. Makes it look a bit better. I think I want to turn this into cloud as well. Actually, let's do it for all of it. That'll be easier. Let's do it all at once rather than deciding where we want it. I think it's this side. It is this side, I think. Yeah, it is. Nice. Field cloud. There we go. I think having just the edges in a different colour Just separates it from the landscape a bit more and makes it look a bit better, in my opinion. Yeah. Alright, let's have some trees on here then. I think I should probably turn the tessellation of this up a bit, but that's going to cause a few issues here. Was it 12 I went for? 10, okay. That should be fine because that's not interacting with it. These are going to overlap slightly, so if I just make those overlap, that should get rid of any major issues. If we go down and down with that, actually if we attach that to there, that should sort any gaps out and also allow us for a little bit more customization. And we put the trees in. So, make them small, make them low poly, and now we decide where we want trees. So, no vegetation. So we don't really want trees along. Have we got that selected? No, we don't. Okay. Might have a few trees along there, but we don't really want a huge amount of trees up here. We could have a line of trees, I guess, doing that. And get rid of all these. And we could have a few there, maybe. They might be a bit close, though, actually. So it might be a better idea to not do that. Oh no, they look okay. They look fine. Possibly slightly denser. 100 might be a bit over the top, though. Oh no, that looks okay. I sort of think maybe there's a few too many here. Like that, perhaps. I might want to move that, actually. I'm going to move this down to here and put some down there instead. I can actually see a gap there now. So let's bring that up a bit, and that should get rid of that gap. There we go. Lovely. Right, so now we just need to put some bushes in, and the scene will be pretty much done. So if we put some across here, and some going like that, how's that going to look? It's going to look quite good if we have some running between that set and that set of trees. Nice. Actually, we can continue bringing those down there. Yep, that should be pretty good if we actually have some more. Just doing that just to hide the transition between the high grass and the low grass. There we go. Okay, I'm sort of thinking now maybe want a few more trees back here, just because they don't look super great in their current form. Although I'm not sure how I want to do that really. I think maybe just making them go up a bit more. A bit like that. But not that high up. So more like that. And then down. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's put a few little variations in the grass texture. We can do that with some... What do we have? Grass leaves belt. That's a different colour. That's quite nice. That'll do. Very repetitive though, but you shouldn't really see that. Grass light, no, that's an old texture. Grass plants low 1 is an interesting texture to say the least. You can put it in that field, why not? It's not particularly easy to see, but that's fine. Undo that last one, there we go. Let's see. Grass sparse? No. Sparse plants? No. That's the same one, possibly. No, it's not, it's slightly different. Undergrowth. Undergrowth is somewhat decent, I think. Maybe that's... yeah. From a distance, that looks basically identical. Actually, if we go for some of the wild grasses, because I know that they've got different textures, Grass Wild 2 Belt in particular looks a slightly different shade of green. Although, not that you can see it from there. Let's put it on this field instead, because you can actually see the colour of that field. There we go. Okay. I would say that that is pretty much done. I think that looks quite good. I want to do something down here actually. In that edge. Let's put a hedge in there. That's not a hedge, that's some trees. Just to close that off. Like so. We do have a bit of a hard edge. So the gap that I said I wasn't going to fill, I am going to fill. With 40, should be enough. 40 is enough. Excellent. Nice. The slope is a bit too green. This is a lot of slope. Which one are we looking at? Because there's quite a few slopes here. Overall, though, there might be. If you mean this one, then that's just because it's not finished. I was going to get rid of that, wasn't I? There we go. Sorted. So let's quickly fill in the rest of this, even though it's not particularly needed. Particularly needed. Yes, a small road, yeah. We'll get back to that in a little bit and finish detailing it once I've closed off a little bit more of this. Don't really need to do that, do I? Actually, just on the other side. Don't know why I did it on that side where it's basically invisible. Where is it? There it is. There we go. And if we do it up to about there, that should be enough, in theory. Some reeds, we could do some reeds. Could definitely do some reeds, although we've sort of got those posing as reeds, that sort of darker green. We might do some more of it over here actually. Let's just select the majority of the river. Grass, green minus C, there we go. The sort of actual reeds in Eurotrack I'm not a huge fan of, just because they're a bit too yellow for me. For my likings. Although I think there are new ones with the Baltic DLC that have been ported over from American Truck. There you go, that's a bit better, and we'll do the same on this side. Just in these sections. There we go. Okie dokie. Right, there we go. Let's see what the Baltic reeds look like quickly. They'll probably work quite well. There's actually two. There's these really light ones that I'm not a huge fan of. And those are worse, I think. Yeah, they don't work very well. They could work, they are a bit light in comparison to the rest of it. So I might just keep it the same for now. And just leave those darker green colours around the river. Just over there. Nice. So, let's finish up with the road, and then we should be done for the day. Let's actually fill in this hill first. I feel like that's a bit more important. Which one is it? That one. That's the one we want. We want to attach it to there, attach it to there, attach it to there. Okay. So this hill, that's a small problem. Let's bring that down, bring it around, bring that down to there. Okay, this will probably be quite steep. It might not look great for a little while. Right, let's colour it in with some of this. Down to there. From the road, that looks okay. From this road, that looks decent. I might hide it with a few trees. Let's do... I think they're trees. No, not trees. Okay. Tree dense, tree avenue, tree dense, far, no, okay. Dense, low. If we put a patch of trees there, bring them down a little bit. There we go. Put some hedges in. There we go. Might put some hedges there as well, actually. Nice, okay, that looks okay from there. From here it's not fantastic, but I think we can dress that up a bit more later. Well, it doesn't look too bad from down there, there's a few gaps, but I think it could probably still be an Easter egg, or a hidden road. I think as long as it doesn't get too bad up here, I think it should be fine. So yeah, so let's put some hedges along here, and then that road is pretty much done. Oh, that's okay. Hello. There's a new bug with the editor, where if you press F5, it puts a rearview mirror up. Normally, if I was the map, you can see the map here behind it. But the first time you do it, it brings a wind mirror up. You can just do the wind mirrors with F7. I've never really got the point of them. They're a bit pointless as far as I can tell. But whatever. Bit weird, but it's one of the quirks of the editors. One of the quirks of the editor. For there is only one. Right. Hey. There we go. It's test performance, yeah. I figured it would be. I assumed it was a performance thing. Or seeing what the LODs of stuff look like. Interestingly, those trees don't render in, which is fun. In fact, I don't think any instance geometry renders in on them. Yeah, that's weird. Oh well. That might just be a setting. There we go, okay. Hey, let's press all the right keys. There we go. So, if we split that field into two around there, oh, that's got, okay, 3 node rotation. There we go. Split it up there, that looks decent from the road. If I am going to make an Easter egg road, I might move the hedges back slightly and put some wild grass, just sort of on the edges of it. But we can do that later. For now, that looks pretty good. I might fill that in with grass, just because then I can take a picture of it without any gaps. I'll put it in hashtag development on the ProMods Discord server. Okay. Where do we want to go? Let's go to there with it. Let's really start using terrain more. There we go. That's a horrible hill. Let's do... It doesn't need to be quite steep, but not quite that steep. If we go like that with it, then we can fill some of that in. Right, let's do some more detail here. Can we... Is there street view on that road? No, there's not. Okay, fantastic. We'll just have to look like there. So it looks like the grass is sort of quite tall. Basically it's the same as everything else. Marshy highland grass. So let's introduce some wild grass first, just on the edges. That's going to create some hard edges, so we'll try and avoid that. Actually, these 8, they are. That's still 4, isn't it? Yeah. 8 by 8. Whoa, that's more than 8 by 8. Blimey. What did I make that? 8. Okay, 4 by 88. Maybe not. Maybe 8 by 8 is going to be a little more appropriate there. Okay, there we go. We want... This is the problem, is sort of marshy grass is pretty hard to reproduce. Let's look for some tall... Actually, what's that look like? That's not going to fit with any of the rest of the... So maybe it's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. Could go back to Stones SC. Grass Stones main. See if that fits in at all. Because you tend to find the SC stuff doesn't really work with the bout textures. At least in my experience. Well, not what I want to do. Let's undo that then. Just do it up to there. There we go. Okie dokie. There we go. Lovely. It would be nice if you would do an Easter egg. A sign that says this live stream has and the people on it. I sort of had an idea similar. Some people may have noticed that the channel had monetization turned on in about, must have been October, which means people can technically donate now if they want. So I did have the idea that if someone donated I could put their name in a sign somewhere, in like a park with just everyone who's donated names, but I doubt anyone's going to donate. No. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, if anyone does actually donate. I'd be surprised. I'd probably have to check it over with the admins first and go, would it be okay if I have a field with loads of signs in it? I'd probably have to check that I'm actually allowed to do it first. So, yeah. Right. So, 8 by 8, there we go. Not a huge fan of the rockiness, but I think if we do enough of it, you can't see it from the main road, so it doesn't need to be amazing. Okay. Considering it's just an Easter egg road, it doesn't need to be absolutely fantastic. The belt grass, when you compare it to the Scandinavian grass, it's really, really light. Really light. Then when it's on its own, you don't really realise how light it is. So yeah. Right. So that's looking better now. That's definitely looking better. I don't know if I want to do any hedges or anything around I sort of want... we do some... yeah, that could work. Let's just find some actual rocks. Not those. Stone. Is that going to come up with it? Yeah, there we go. Oops. I don't know if that's going to look any good or not. Oh, it looks fine. It fits in, sort of. The problem with this is I can't really customise the edges of the road much. I guess we could do some around there. It sort of works. That's a very harsh corner. Let's make that less harsh. I think some rocks would work better here, if anywhere. So maybe let's take these off. And maybe replace... oh, that's got a hard edge, but it's not too... it's only an Easter egg road. If anything, it's only ever going to be an Easter egg road, so it doesn't need to be particularly polished. Anyway, there we go. I think that's going to just about do us for today. So yeah, I think we've done quite a lot today. I think that looks like a pretty good scene. Worthy of a screenshot, perhaps. So yes. So, thank you all very much for watching. That's probably going to be me for today. Yes. I think, let's just compare it to Google. There's Google. There's the map. I think that looks good enough to be recognised, at least, maybe. You know, if the river's a bit bigger than it is in Google, I think having a river just makes things look nicer in general. So it's nice to make it a bit bigger. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you everyone for joining me. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I might do, but if I do, that would be the last one for a week, because I'm then going on holiday to Wales. Not anywhere near here though. So yes. Chevron signs. We will do signs last, as that is my motto. Signs always last. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I have been Bricks at Home. Goodbye.